wasn't going to come and film the bridge here, but they have made some adjustments to the footpath. Look, so the footpath's been moved. It went up there the other day. You now walk underneath the bridge. I wasn't going to film this. It's due to open tomorrow, actually. So by the time this video goes out, it'll be in use. Welcome back to Staveley. It feels like I've spent so much time in this little area over the last few weeks. I might have to declare to the local council to start charging me council tax. But there's the bridge behind us that was put in earlier this week. There's been so much excitement going off in this little stretch of area this week. It's quite a shame. There's been so much going off. It's such a shame having a full-time job and a life outside of doing these videos as well, because I've really not got the time and the bandwidth to be doing anything, doing everything. But I've come today just to have a quick look, short video, on something interesting that's going on just a little bit further up the canal, and that's the archaeological dig around Bellhouse Basin. Now, it's being conducted by York Archaeology in conjunction with the Chesterfield Canal Trust, and it's all about exposing and examining the impact of the next section of the restoration. So we'll go up there and just show you exactly what it is that they've uncovered.
Obviously, you've got the canal running behind you here.
Yeah.
So this is not. So what we're looking at here is not actually directly part of the canal. Does that make sense?
It's the basin, isn't it?
It's the basin,
yeah.
Exactly. So, so you've got the basin, which is directly in front of it, which is, you can kind of see, you know, this horrible dark silt. You see in front of it, that's the basin, because we've not actually managed to hit the bottom of it, because you can see we hit the water table and had to go, right, if we go any further, we'll create a swamp and we'll not be able to do anything to it. So we kind of had to make the decision, like, whatever level we got to now, we'll record everything at that level.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you've got the basin right in front of us here. You've got, this is one edge of the basin, this sort of wall in front of us.
All right, yeah.
So you kind of, this is sort of a more, it looks a bit crude compared to that one, but that's sort of a more traditional canal edge. You see how it's got the stakes running along, it's got some stone, you know, it's just there to sort of keep the edge of the canal. So this is one edge of the basin, and then the other edge is sort of, it's a bit basically where that spoil heap is there.
Yeah.
You can almost see where, I don't know how it'll come on the camera, but it sort of gets a bit yellower right in the corner. So you get the yellow clay right in that far corner, and that's sort of, we're thinking it's the other edge of the basin. So it's a fair width, and that kind of matches what's on the map. So that's the basin, but then what you've got, the sort of main attraction, so to speak. So the basin has been on the canal it's on maps from the 1700s, but then you've got this, which is a wharf. So they built a wharf. There was a coking plant up where those houses are up there.
Yeah.
And they built a wharf, presumably to supply it or to move stuff away. And basically the wharf ran in through that gap you see between these two big stone walls. Yeah. Up, and then ran slightly diagonally up to that where you've got that garden fence.
Yeah.
So it ran up there for about 40-50 meters. So basically they would have probably gone, right, we want to put a wharf in, but in order to get a canal boat through that gap, you need to be able to turn. We'll go, well, we've already got a nice big open area here, so let's put on you've got these really heavy walls, probably because obviously with a canal boat full of heavy load that's going to be maybe bouncing off the corners, you need really serious reinforced, and what we found is, even you can't see them here, but there are a few spots on this stone where it looks like it's been hit, you know, really, you know, it's a chunk taken out of it. Which is very likely when they were doing it, they just misjudged and hit it. So it runs off. The wharf runs off. You can sort of see the slots where I would have had the boards in.
Yeah.
See, there's another one on. We can't see it from here on the other side. And then it would have run off, and they would have loaded and then come back out and gone right back onto the canal.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's quite a thing. I think we found a lot of those stones we're seeing are they've got sort of holes in them, or sort of like little nooks cut out of them that don't seem to make sense for this. Which means that a lot of this stone is probably repurposed from somewhere else, because if you've got it, you'll reuse it. So there's a theory that some of them have got sort of double holes slotted in. There's a theory some of them might be early railways didn't have sleepers. They were done on big stones rather than sleepers. So some of them might have been early railway sleepers been reused. It's a theory. It's not confirmed either way. But yeah, it's quite a thing. It's lovely.
Fantastic.
But what's also funny is you can sort of tell how much of the canal we've lost, because you see those stones you see sort of directly, the sort of rounded ones on top.
Yeah.
Those are obviously the top stones. We've not lost any more off the top. That is the top of the canal.
Yeah.
And you think about how high they are there, and you think about how high you are when you stand. You know, you realise how much height you've lost off the canal. You know,
Yeah.
you think, which I get, we know it's been bulldozed, but it's funny thinking this landscape would all, if we were stood here when it was active, we'd be our heads would be about here.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like
yeah.
it's just had almost ground has been built up. But yeah, it's a lovely thing. Obviously, we're very grateful to the volunteers that have come out and done it for us, and the trust who've got the funding for it. It's been really, really good.
Yeah,
obviously
fantastic.
wet, but if you unsurprisingly, if you re-dig out a bit of a canal, it turns back into a canal.
Yeah. And we've not had the driest of years, have we?
No, really not. But we worked around it, and I think we'll have a really good end product for it.
That's great. When's all this ending then? When's like the...
So this, we are going to be coming in and backfill the bulk of it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because obviously I think the plan is, when they reinstate this part of the canal, they will also rebuild the basin as well. So
Yeah.
hopefully, I don't know what the plan is, but hopefully they'll be able to re-expose some of these walls and just have them as a really nice kind of visual feature. Obviously they won't be able to restate the wharf because there's houses on it.
Yeah.
But you could probably, maybe reinstate it up to where the boards would have gone.
Yep.
Be
a nice feature, yeah.
It would be, and the nice
lovely.
thing is about it, we will have to backfill it. But what the sort of two things which is a little bit gutting, but it's just obviously this can't be left for years. Well, two things. Obviously, we'll have surveyed this in with a survey kit, so we'll know, even if it's covered over, you'll know exactly. You can get a kit out and literally stand on the ground where it is and go, right, it's exactly on this point, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And also the other nice thing is we'll backfill it carefully, but those walls are solid. They're not going, we'll scatter dirt across them, we'll backfill it, we'll pack around them. They're not going anywhere. They will cheerfully stay under there for however long you want. They'll still be there in hundreds and hundreds of years' time. So a few years underground again won't hurt them.
Good condition, don't they? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that kind of
Up to
solid
last
stone.
year.
Yeah, they've kind of maybe moved a bit just as the ground subsided, but they'll still be there. It's not like with they found the boats. They found the boats here.
Yeah.
Obviously, as wood. Once they've been uncovered, and obviously they recorded them really lovely, got lots of photos, but stuff like that will obviously degrade.
Yeah.
Like wood and stuff like that. But I'm speaking obvious, but obviously
Stone
doesn't go anywhere.
It's there forever. It's there forever if it's left. Yeah.
Yeah.
This wouldn't be the first dig of this kind undertaken around the basin. The basin and surrounding area was bulldozed in the 1970s. The canal had been derelict for a number of years, but there was talk of boats that were covered over during the destruction. During the dig in 2017, a total of 3 boats were discovered, including a cuckoo boat, a maintenance boat, and a third boat believed to be a work boat. In the 2019 dig 2 years later, more superb remains of the third boat were revealed and recorded. The entrance way to the old canal arm that we saw was also uncovered, but not to the same degree that it has been this week. We can see this old canal arm on the 1880s maps, but on the next maps in the late 1890s, the arm is no longer shown. It's understood that the canal arm was to serve the gasworks, which sat just to the south of the basin. I'm guessing as time moved on, the gasworks was fed by the railway instead of the canal. Don't forget the canal was severed in 1907 when the Norwood Tunnel collapsed, so the only boat workings were those done west of the tunnel. Get a closer look now what's going on down here. So this is stood right inside the entrance to the wharf now, look. It's a bit... I'm not going to go in the water, I'm sure you can understand. Get a closer look.
19-year-old and a 16-year-old.
Just how it away from the edge.
Look at that.
That all looks really good.
You can see the gaps it's
you
been
can.
mentioned in there. This loose stop boards, whatever they are.
Train them and they
Look how nice this stone is on the top here.
Basically tow it or trowel it out and around. You can either do it in a pile and then hook it out, or just trowel it all the way. Yeah, I was just thinking that.
And there's the curve around into the wharf, look.
Yeah, I'd say.
Which goes, so you see how deep this is, look how much earth's been put on top of it.
So I think if you...
Shoulder height, looking through there.
Theories it might be related to gas was there.
Does it go all the way under here then?
Yeah, it does. So you can can you see the two lines of bricks? So you got the brickwork. You got it's a bit mashed up, unfortunately, but you got the brickwork going off that way. So you basically got as you get further up, there doesn't seem to be any bricks here, but as further up, you can, because this is sort of the edge of site. So this is where we stop machining. But I think, can you see this sort of? You've got this sort of dip, dark, straight down.
You see the puddle banks sweeping across right in front of us there. And like Owen's just been explaining, this would have been the entrance here into the basin, which we're basically standing at the in front of here, overlooking here. So that's the entrance there. Look at that! Look at the bits of wood sticking up there. And all these bits and bobs, look, that they've found. Different stones, bits of wood, bits of pottery, bottles there.
Or it's just something, it's also possible when they dug it and they backfilled it, there was just some rubbish that went in. Yeah, and what...
Is that like this?
Yeah, I'd probably start off by
What, this is just the joint?
Get your plastic pipe and you do a little hole for shuttering or something like
Was that the pipe?
Yes. With a big hole in.
It's not just the Bellhouse Basin, which is just there, that they're making some digs at. This is the end of Bellhouse Lane, and they're looking for remains of the bridge. So there was a road bridge that went over here. That's looking down the Bellhouse Lane now, and they're also looking for remains of the bridge abutment, which is just along here now. This is a section I've filmed many times on my way past. There's always been some of the brickwork here exposed, hasn't there? But they've just been uncovering a little bit more, because obviously this is prime for restoration. Look, it's only just up. You can see the new bridge there. There you go, and that's what remains that they've exposed there. So that's the bridge abutment. And to be honest, I've never really given this much thought. I thought this was, before all this started, I thought this was related to some narrows on the canal. But with that being a bridge abutment, is that from the railway line that, if you look on the old maps, swung across the canal at this location on an angle? Let's have a look at this fascinating old photo on the Chesterfield Canal Trust website. In the background is the old Great Central Railway Bridge. That's basically where the new red bridge stands today. But in the foreground is the bridge abutments that we've just seen that have been exposed on the right of the photo. We can fade to the current day view for a comparison. And here is the location of that bridge on the 1898 map. The canal was crossed 5 times by road and rail in this short section between Eckington Road and Bellhouse Lane. Yeah, it's a shame they're going to have to fill that in again, isn't it? But I can perfectly understand the reasons why. I'm just going to have a quick little wander down the puddle bank while I'm here. Be rude not to, wouldn't it? So we understand that the archaeological dig is going on into possibly into the middle of next week. It's Friday today, and they're having an open day tomorrow just to let people go in and have a look around everything that they've uncovered there. So that's a fantastic event. yeah, if you have gone there, you'll have enjoyed everything that I've just shown you. Cheers to Owain and everybody currently involved in the dig as well, doing a fantastic job. Cheers for letting me have a poke about filming while you're doing your little bits and bobs with your trowels. So the bridge as well, I've just mentioned, bridge opens tomorrow, Saturday as well, so I'll be over at some point early next week just to film having the first official permissible walk over that bridge. So many Chesterfield Canal videos at the moment. So I hope you're enjoying these short update videos. So thanks for watching, take care, we'll see you soon.